sequence. If you go from A to B to Z, they will be different. Okay, so first you have to do the control experiment to find out how their individual A, B, or Z looks like. And then you do the experiment to find out what is the mixture of the A, B, Z forms in your sample solution. Does it answer your question?
Yes.
Yes, so it is not like the protein that the control are always known, that it will have two bands at 208 or 222 nanometer, or only one band at 280 nanometer. No, it will have different sequence of it. Okay. Okay, so before going further, any more question? If not, this is the end of the CD spectroscopy part. But before I going further, I would like to comment on the answer of the quiz number 2. Okay, so now I guess you have already a very good idea what is the reason for giving that question and how to answer it. So let me stop share this and start sharing this. Okay, so again, the question was very simple actually. Over there, I actually showed you this particular CD spectrum. Okay, and I ask you why I'm seeing these particular changes. So basically, I ask you to do two things. First, read the paper. And obviously, I don't expect you to read, all of you to just read the paper and understand 100%. That is not the goal anyways. So some of you thought that it is kind of like an exam that you have to understand 100%. No, the main goal is to find out if I even understand the application of the CD spectroscopy in this particular paper or not. That is the main goal. So now let me give you a little bit of explanation what they are actually doing. Okay, I'm quite sure all of you have already understood it, but let me give you a little bit of explanation. So this figure over here explains everything. So what they are actually doing, they are actually adding a nucleotide and a protein together. Okay, so far we have studied that the protein have a secondary structure. You can have a signal, a nucleotide or DNA signal can have a CD signal, and they have a particular response. What happens if I combine them together? And that is the reason for this paper is very interesting. So what they did actually over here, you can see they have taken 3 different oligonucleotide sequence. Oligonucleotide is nothing but single stranded DNA sequence. They have actually taken over here 3 different sequences. And over there at the end, they have this kind of structure. Okay, it is nothing but an alkyne structure. I'm not going into the details of the organic chemistry, it is an alkyne structure. On the other hand, they actually have taken this particular sequence, and all of you now know how to read it. Y, E, V, E, what that means. Y means tyrosine, E means glutamic acid, V means valine, so on and so forth. Anyways, whatever the sequence is, then creates a very nice alpha helical sequence. And that has an azide at the end. So what happens when I put azide and alkyne together? That actually sets the preamble for a click reaction. And they will create this kind of heterocyclic ring, heterocyclic triazole ring. Okay, it is actually a reaction between an alkyne and a azide, a heterocyclic reaction. One molecule of nitrogen goes out, and this kind of it reacts between themselves and creates this triazole ring. Now, once this triazole ring is formed, what happens that your oligonucleotide and peptide now becomes part of the same molecule. And that is how they are creating. So this black sphere over here signifies this triazole ring. Now, once they form this, they actually mix them. What they mix? Same sequence of the protein, but different sequence of this oligonucleotide. And once they put it together, what they're expecting, this oligonucleotide will create an assembly among them. And if it creates an assembly among them, these proteins will also come very close together and forms what is known as a coiled coil. That means each of them are already a coil, and between them, they are forming a coil. Okay, it is nothing but 3 coils each other are forming coils among themselves. And if it is happening or not, they are trying to find it through CD spectroscopy. So any questions up to here, what they're actually doing? A oligonucleotide and a protein structure, they're actually putting together in the first phase, doing a click chemistry, and then putting 3 different nucleotide and this protein structure together in the same solution where they're forming a supramolecular molecule. And what they're trying to found it, and there is all the different structures you can find how they're actually doing. Okay. Then they're forming, looking it through the CD spectroscopy. Now in the CD spectroscopy, very important thing is the green signal. The green signal is the only oligonucleotide, only the DNA molecules. And what do you see? You see a band around 260 to 280 nanometer. We have just discussed that DNA actually is responsible for this particular signal. So it shows that you have a DNA signal. Over here, you have some bands, but you can see the maximum band is below 210, so around 210 nanometer, but no particular signal at 222, 208 or 218 nanometer. So that is nothing for a protein signal. So that is only oligonucleotide. So that is the control signal of an oligonucleotide, nothing else. Whereas the red one over here, it is the only peptide, no oligonucleotide. And what you are seeing, a band around 208 and 222 nanometer, but nothing beyond that. But it is showing that it is nothing but an alpha helix. So that is your 2 control experiment. Only oligonucleotide is going to show you very visible bands beyond 260 and some features below 260 nanometer in the negative region. Whereas that is only alpha helix for the protein. Now, once you put them together, they have done 2 different experiments. You get either this blue or this black one. And over there, what you are seeing, it has both the signature of the alpha helix plus this particular feature is also showing up over here. It is not as flat as it was for the red one. You can see this actually has some feature coming down, which is actually showing now the nucleotide is a part of that. Plus, you have a very good signal over here. So this shows that the blue and black one is actually forming a structure where the alpha helix and oligonucleotides are together. Now, what is the difference between the blue and the black one? I am saying that one of them is forming this trihelical coiled coil. So which of them is actually, do you think, is forming a better coiled coil, the blue one or the black one? Which one of them is forming the coiled coil better?
Black one.
Black one. Why?
Because of the alpha helicity is.
Yes, the propensity is much more, which is showing that it is becoming more alpha helical. How it can become more alpha helical? Because now in the overall structure, it is creating more alpha helicity. Okay, that's why not only the individual it is alpha helix, but the alpha helix are also creating a helical structures overall by creating this 3 helical bundle. So that is why it is showing that it is not only a simple combination of putting these 3 things together. Over here, they are also interacting between themselves, and that's why they are creating a very nice structure. So the difference between the blue one and the black one is the most important part of this particular CD spectroscopy. And it is showing that, yes, you are creating a intramolecular interaction between the 3 alpha helices and creating the bond. Okay. So over here, if I go over here, so over here, the difference between these 2 is that over here, there are 3 individual helices. So you are going to get almost similar alpha helical signature as each of them are going to show in this particular form, only the azotopate form. But if they're interacting between themselves, they're creating another set of helicity. And that is the reason for getting an increase in the CD spectroscopy. Okay, so whether this hybridization is forming or not, it is showing up over here in this increase in the form over here. Okay, any questions up to here?
So this also increases the thermal stability.
That is also coming as a secondary. Yes, that will create a more interaction, means more stability. So it is kind of think like you are on your own and someone is trying to rob you. It is much easier. Now say you are among with 5 of your friends, and some of them known say Kung Fu, obviously it is very much hard to rob you. So that is the same thing over here. More friends, more interaction, much more difficult to break the bonds. Okay. So how to say, now the question comes, how to prove that it is actually becoming more thermally stable? Which experiment would you do?
The temperature denaturation that I
Yes, so
got
you will
to
do a temperature dependent CD with this form on and its original form. And where, how do you, what is actually you're going to expect to see? A shift in the melting temperature.
right.
Okay. So that is how you can use a CD spectroscopy to find out the overall structural dynamics. Okay. So don't worry too much about what do you write in the answer. The more important thing is that whether you are trying to grasp, if someone is writing in a research paper, how much you are trying to follow, how much you are following it, and after we discuss, go back again and try to read it again and see if you are following it or not. This is the main exercise for this particular class. What you are getting as a marks, it is not important. It is important for your grades, but the most important thing is how much you are actually gaining of that comprehension or understanding. Okay. So this is the part we are actually thought to follow about the CD spectroscopy. So before we go further in the next section, I will take a while over here and ask any one of you if you have any queries or questions or any comment. So it is the first time we are actually teaching online. So all of us are actually trying newer things and newer versions to make sure that you guys are getting the most out of it. So let me know if you want to improve some things or include something that will help your experience in learning this particular topics. Please feel free to comment. It is nothing going to affect your grade.
I want to say something like I
Yes,
literally
please.
enjoyed this assignment, like
Okay.
this paperwork reading, and it really enhances like what we are reading or learning in the class. We can actually think in the paper as well.
Yes.
So
So
my one question is like in the final exam, are we getting the same kind of questions? Because I have for this particular assignment, I have gone through the supplementary reading as well. So that
yes, yes, yes.
requires bit time and that
Yes,
kind of
yes, yes,
thing.
yes. I am planning to follow the same trend, and obviously, I'm because I personally think that exam is not shouldn't be time bound all the time, because just to you can do something very quickly doesn't mean that it is very good all the time. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so if everything is in my hand, I will give you a question paper similarly, and I'll give you 24 hours time or something, so that you have enough time so that you can read the paper, understand it, and write it. And at the end, I would also like to mention that over here, I'll always say that just write within one page. That is to make sure that you don't need to write a lot. Whatever we discuss, it is just half a page discussion, right? That you have to just write the gist, the understanding. Too much writing is not required. Okay, so that's why the exam pattern, I would prefer to follow the same pattern, because I am actually experimenting with this experimental pattern, so that it is actually help you to understand. Because if you learn during even the exam, that is also a plus point for us. So that is
Yes,
the
sir.
whole point. Okay, so if everyone allows, the academics allows, I'll probably take the same thing. Like it is a 24-hour exam, I'll give the question paper, say like 9 at night, and the next day, midnight, you have time till then and finish up your exam. And if I found that it may happen that there's another exam in the next day, so I'll probably give a grace period for that. Okay, so I will look into that.
Okay,
And
thank you.
for now on, I will do the assignment and exam similar way. And I have also got an email that the last week of the class, I cannot take a quiz or assignment. So I will give another quiz or assignment next week. But I'll give the dates of submission till the end of the semester. So you can do it in your own pace and submit it. Okay. And the other thing I would like to mention that for each of you, I will read your assignment. I will write my comments and get back to you. But as you understand that it takes more time because I'm correcting it online, not on paper. So I'll get back to you hopefully by the beginning of the next class. Okay, so I will try to put my comments on that, like